Доброе утро.
Good morning, good morning. Доброе утро.
Good morning.
Okay. Oh, you're funny. You know you're funny. Sasha and I have been traveling around since he's been here. We went to Haskell, Texas. Bella Vista invited us down one Wednesday evening. I think we went to Liberty, Missouri. Was that on a Wednesday, last Wednesday? And made a report about some of the work in Ukraine. And we thought it might be good to share that here a little bit this morning with you. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 28 to go into all the world, teach the good news, and make disciples of all nations. All authority is given to me in heaven and on earth. Go make disciples of all nations, and that's our purpose here in Neosho, becoming more like Jesus ourselves, being a disciple and finding others to be disciples, and baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and teach them to obey everything I've commanded you. And he says he'll be with us to the end of the age. So this is kind of our marching orders, all Christians everywhere, until Jesus returns. And Sasha is busy about this. By the way, how many of you do not know Sasha? Okay. Well, I will introduce him. His name is Ronnie. His name is Alexander Anatolievich Prokopchuk. And I'm Denny. But this guy you can call you what? Sasha.
Yeah. Каждый Александр в Украине или России это Саша.
Any Alexander in Ukraine and Russia can be called Sasha. But I also learned that Alexandra, girl, can be called Sasha.
Тоже.
So I introduced you to the boy named Sue.
Yeah.
But anyway, it surprised me the first time because I knew you, and then we met a girl, and they said, it's Sasha. And I said, why is it Sasha? And her name was Alexandra, Alexandra, instead of Alexander. But anyway, we want to share a little bit about what's going on. In 2014, the very center of our work, from which radiated all of the work in Ukraine, was under some siege and attack from forces that were sympathetic with Russian separatists. And as you know, a war raged there. Over 10,000 people were killed, many women and children, and we'll show a picture in a moment of one of our dear sisters that was killed, but some preachers were killed too. And just a lot of mayhem. And this war came to Sasha's place. So I'll let Sasha describe what we see here on some of these slides. Let me get this on here.
First of all, I want to thank you for letting me this opportunity to share about our ministry in Ukraine. And I brought to you peace and love from our family, from our church, from our people. And I want to start say, we all have plans for a future, yes? It's normal, people have plans. And 2014, Danny mentions this, I am expect special me, I am expect my 50th anniversary. And that's
50th birthday.
Yeah. 50th birthday, yeah. And I've heard from people you're 50 and your life more stable, and you're everything run good. I did it seminar well, it's TV program run, and we expect have a granddaughter, and and I have already in my dream, I will walk with my granddaughter soon on this yard, but finally, a war start, and nobody expects the troubles. Yeah, nobody waiting for the troubles. And you see this picture, it's already Donetsk, almost a downtown empty, because separatists try to capture, they try to, what is the word?
Yeah. Capture the...
capture a White House in Donetsk. And I was right in downtown, and I'm at them, it's our army, and I want to ask, can I have a picture with you guys? And they say, okay. So, but after a few hours, it's a big battle, and some guys was die, and finally it start war in our country. And you see some pictures of damage by real heavy weapons, you know, like
Artillery bombardment.
artillery, yeah, like Russia brought, and it's a real picture from Donetsk. It's like before, like a very beauty town, and people enjoy lives. You know, like when war starts in your town or homelands, it's not like touch some just one area or ruin just one. I'm not talking about myself. It's like it touch millions lives, you know, like.
I think there's 1.67 refugees fled this war and scattered throughout Ukraine.
We have like even like we just showed just I can even tell it's my window, it's by shells, and it's touched because like you know, like if war coming to your country or your town, you can't deal. I mean, it's like a school finish, it doesn't work. Our daughter can't go to the school. Our response center we work for, it doesn't work because post mail doesn't work. Hospital completely full of people who die on the war or they have injured, you know, like. So banks collapse, doesn't
Post
work.
office stops.
All offices stops. I mean, like everything stops. It's like a touch whole your areas. Like it's family, church, friends, and you see this lady. She is our sister. Her name Galina. Finally, when started bombing, she tried run away. You know, like escape, but by shells. What is like? People say, I not saw, but our Christians saw like it's will cut her hair.
Decapitate.
Yeah. And just she, you know.
She was a dear sister to us. You know, she cooked many meals for us when we went over there.
So she's like have this. I mean, like. But anyway, like we not expect this, you know, like, but it's happened, and it's like. What is interesting, if you are a preacher or minister, like you I mean, like I'm a person like you. I mean, we are a human, you know. We have like if something happened, like we're down, have
depressed a little,
depressed. But if you are a minister, you not know how to say, like you must go and help people, encourage people, continue like preach the gospel. And you see this picture when we escape the war, you know, go to Kiev, we start help refugees because it's a lot of in Kiev, like, I don't know, 500,000 people. So we just go to the fresh market where vegetables and buy like potatoes, onions, carrots, and this is a small boy, he is a refugee too, and we brought some Bibles, some books for kids, and so we start help people there.
Yeah, and thanks to Rocketdyne Road and many other places that provide funds that Sasha can use to help widows, help people that are displaced. 1.6 million people just spread throughout Ukraine. Some people had family, many did not. And a lot of our Christians, you saw the picture of the big church there at the beginning, that's scattered. There's probably maybe 50 or 60 left. The people who couldn't leave stayed, and one of the elders stays there and holds 3 house churches for those people. So, and your church in downtown, they all continue to meet, but they're persecuted, of course, there now.
And we have like during the winter special program help widows or elderly people who not have a place. It's called like a program Survive the Winter. And we invite some widows stay in Kiev, we rent the house and provide the food. And also like people, our widows who live in Donetsk, and it's a disabled people we support. And
and Anatoly Kluchev here, we support him to help orphans and disabled people and prison work. And he continues to do this. Not behind the lines, I don't think. He is in Ukraine. He's behind the lines. He's still then working. He didn't leave, and some people couldn't and didn't. But he continues to work and sends us pictures of the work that he's doing. By the way, when 9/11 occurred here in our country, he was a janitor making $50 a month, and he sent $50 to the victims in 9/11. So he has a real heart for anybody that's in trouble.
Yeah, it's our son, Vanya, we call, it's Ivan, but we call Vanya. He will start do like an orphans ministry in Kiev. And
well, we know this as Smiles. This is the Smiles
Yeah.
Ministry that we supported with the coin program recently.
So actually, Vanya plan come to see you maybe in October with God's
Yeah, he
will.
called and he said, would you and Carol welcome us in October in your home? He's married now. He wants to bring his wife here to meet you all, and he has a daughter, Vera, which means faith.
Yeah.
And I said, sure, if he can figure a way to get from Nashville to here, he will come. And
And
he
it's
works
like,
in Bible camps with
it's like
orphans.
Bible camps. We have this May. So he and his wife brought like 40 kids. It's a camp, Bible camps. And they have a like 10 days camp and on the Black Sea near Odessa. And it's a call like Christos Voskres. It's
During the
Christ.
Easter time, yeah.
Yeah. So like our son, he always go to visit it. It's what he do, like he play with the kids, same like here with the youth. Play some sport game, you know, they always have some study Bible, and if kids some need like go to the hospital or special care, took these kids to the hospital, or sometimes he even like took some kids to his home and like Katya, his wife, cook for them special. So he is involved like and have a lot of kids.
The amazing thing is that even though the work was totally disrupted in Donetsk, when Sasha eventually left, that morning there was bombing. You probably heard this story. He had his wife get one suitcase, they got in the car and they traveled every night, tried to find a place to stay, and eventually ended up near Kyiv, which a lot of them did. It's the capital city, it's safer there, and found a place to rent and began to continue to work with the television, eventually getting an apartment and redoing a response center, so that I can truthfully say today that all the work that we had going before, it's going again and more. Whereas before he was on television a couple of times a week, he's on nationwide 4 times a week now, twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday. Last year, he mailed out 14,700 Bibles and religious books, in addition to correspondence courses and answering Bible questions from people who write in from the national television program. So we just thank God for restoring everything and really maybe giving us even a better opportunity. Kind of like Acts 8, when they were scattered because of the persecution, they went everywhere preaching the word. I think the strong church in Donetsk now brings little parts of that strength to many places in Ukraine. And this is an orphanage that we've helped support. There are 3 of these houses called Happy House. It's not the place to eat here.
Zaporozhye.
Yeah, it's in Zaporozhye. And by the way, this young man here in the center, I met him during English Improvement. So a lot of good can be done just holding English classes over there because people want to hear English. We use the Bible to teach English. And he has raised over $10 million for orphans and sick children in Ukraine since he became a Christian. And this orphanage idea is his. And there are 30 kids, 10 in each family, and there's a foster family with them. Okay, Sasha, you want to talk about your TV program a
Yeah,
little
it's
bit?
very interesting. Like when I go to Kiev, I try to make a connections with the new channels, and God provide me. It's called Channels 5, but it's our president Poroshenko. He is his own channel before he's a president, and it's like a real pro-Ukrainian channel. Like they speak 99% of Ukrainian language. Ukraine speak like 2 languages. 50% of people speak Russians, 50 Ukrainians. But they let me know, preach on on the top news channel. I mean, like a news.
Yeah, it's one of the top news channels in Ukraine. And so
Yeah,
it's
like a
24
Fox News or I don't know CNN or.
Yeah.
So, but they let me know, preach on this channel, like in our president, and I'm like every morning, Saturday and Sunday, able to preach like millions of people.
Yeah.
And you see some envelopes from Response Center, we mail like a literature, and we have every quarter, like I'm an editor and write articles, and Danny help also with articles. It's called Inspiration Magazine. So we mail every quarter like 3,000 people.
And that's to churches and individuals to kind of keep unity throughout Ukraine. Ukraine's about the size of Texas. I think there's been between 40 and 50,000 people who have completed those courses. And some of these pictures you see was when I was over there in January. And this is the Inspiration Magazine. Sasha does a good job with the graphics, and And this, I take this picture because Masha, I first met this girl when she was 6 years old in orphanage number 3 near Petrovsky. And she's grown up, she's gotten married. She was at your church this morning, your wife said, and because they've already met 8 hours ago. And she now works in the response center teaching the gospel to people. And this story is repeated. Many of these kids that we've helped in foster care are now grown up. They're still active in the church. So you've all been a part of saving these lives, and our congregation supports this work, and some of you as individuals help every month or year-end contribution. We appreciate this. It'd be impossible to continue this work without your help. And this is Victor, who works in helping mail out these books and Bibles. And I want to give a shout out to EEM. Sometime at the end of the month, we usually do a special contribution for Eastern European missions and Mission Ukraine perhaps too. And they help us with literature. This is, you might say, where do you get all these Bibles and everything? This is the EEM warehouse in Kyiv. And when I was there, I asked how many Bibles and books, religious books are here. And I was told approximately $500,000 worth of books. Those are actually printed in Kyiv because they're less expensive. And so we can just go and, as I was doing that day, and pick up whatever books that we need to mail out to people, put them in the car and take them home. And it's very close. It's not far from your...
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes drive. It's what is interesting. We still send people by free, like we not charge them money, any money. Like people have free Bible, free Christian literature, and many of Ukrainians are just very surprised. Some even not believe like we can do this. So we pay for Bibles. I mean, EM help us, and we pay for
postage and salaries and so forth. Now this, twice a year, Sasha has a seminar. He invites people, interested people who have been television contacts, to come to a special place where they are encouraged to become a Christian. Here are some people that are going to be baptized that day, and also teach them a little about how to start a church in their home. We don't know for sure. Last count, between 300 and 400 home churches and fellowships have been started since the television ministry began, and it just continues.
Yeah, and I will just come back. We will come back to Ukraine, and September 20th, I will start new one seminar in near Odessa, and we expect like 140 people who want to be, and some people it's new people. Like you see some baptisms, like we have like about, it's a May seminar, like eight baptisms, I guess. So it's like before, like we have prayers and...
This is J. Don Rogers, closest to the camera. He is the director of the UBI, Ukrainian Bible Institute, which is an arm of Sunset International. And so they teach students. And so we try to cooperate with anyone who is in the area doing anything. And he usually comes to your seminar, and I try.
I am always invited, like...
And literature is handed out there as well.
It's just like our participations.
Now, this is an example of how churches are started over there. This is the city of Hartsis. Now, is Hartsis behind the line? So it's in occupied territory right now, but they had their 10-year anniversary as a church. And so typically they meet in apartments, or they may, someone has a house, and maybe their mother or father dies and left them this house. And so they will convert this house into a church. And that says, Church of Christ, basically, you're welcome, And this is a picture on the Sunday of the 10th anniversary. One of our friends attended this and sent these pictures to us. But this is typical of what they're able to do on their own. Our goal is to have Ukrainians start their own churches and be responsible for their own churches. We just want to empower this. And working with orphans gives a model, and the television program, and helping people in prison and disabled people. All of this is working together.
It's a May seminar. It's a Black Sea near Odessa.
You can't go to Crimea anymore, really, but they can go to the southern edge of the Black Sea there. What's that, about 7 hours from your... 4 hours? 6? Okay,
6 hours.
From Kyiv. Now, when Sasha moved to Ukraine, there was no place for the church to meet that he was starting. And he started with refugees from Donetsk, some of whom he knew. And this is a picture of the complex where Sasha lives. He finally found an apartment here. And when the dollar was growing, as it is now, these apartments were very, very inexpensive to buy. I think we bought one for $20,000. And so he was able to have an apartment and the response center next to his apartment, but his church was meeting in the university. And when I visited there, it's kind of hard to find. It's hard to go into this university and find the classroom where he's meeting. And when you find this classroom, you're sitting at a chair with a desk on the front of it. So it's just kind of a little strange. But we were looking for a place to meet, and some of you know this. We decided that maybe we could buy the commercial first floor of one of these large buildings in the complex in which he lives and our work is centered. And in April, Sasha signed a contract for 4,300 square feet of commercial space on the first floor of a building, 3 buildings from his, at $35 a square foot, unfinished. And thanks to your generosity and others, we have now, we're within, I think it's basically done, but we robbed Peter to pay Paul, so we're about $34,000 short on that, but we can see our way clear. And see this first level down there where it's white, it's actually walk-in level. And so we'll be able to put signs there. The church meets, so we'll be able to have, other outreaches there for children because, there's a lot of children.
Yeah. It's like many young families there. It's like we have a special place for kids can play. It's like you can see during the day. It's like full of kids,
I don't know. There's some of the complexes, like where Dasha lives, they have like 40,000 people living in these complexes. And these are growing. You see they're building one. The one that you see on your right, that's how it was when I was there in April, on the 4th floor or so.
Now it's almost finished.
Now they have completed all 12 stories since April, and it's supposed to be finished by February or so. And we complete the purchase, and we'll be able to go in and begin to remodel a portion of it for the church meeting. That will be our first. And this is a close-up picture. And this is a footprint of this plan. And the back part will be opened up, and we'll seat around 200 people for worship. And then these front corners we'll be using to have activities for kids and for the people in that complex. So they will feel some ownership and part of what we're doing. And this is what it looks like, their planned community. And all around this is more empty space where they plan to build more. So who knows in the near future how many thousands of people will live there. And this is actually inside the one that we purchased. And so, you can see it will be finished in concrete and bathrooms and so forth. And this is kind of what it looked like back in January. And this is a nice picture of the complex in which they live, and you see some playground areas and so forth. Sasha, do you have anything that you want to add?
I'm never expect, I'm already said, be a refugee. It's I'm even hate to see myself I'm a refugee. But I have a great lesson from God, and before I'm read the Bible about Jesus said if a war coming to your town and you will have persecution, so you need run away before winter.
Yeah, that's in Mark.
And
Mark 13.
And we are blessed because when we live, it's be July 2nd. We have warm, weather, and it's not a winter. So, but what I want to say, dear church, about my experience, we, how to say, we live and gather many stuff, but when God push us from our town, we just leave everything completely. We just really have just one suitcase. And all our furniture, or our bed, bedroom, everything, still some dress, it's still in Donetsk, So and we just start our life from a zero. And God tell me it's about it's about our life on the earth, we are thinking we have, how to say, we are permanent here, but not I'm still we're all refugee here, this. Can you understand? We all someday need to be just move to some place. And why we today in the church? Because we don't want like just guess where you go. I mean, where we will go, you know, like, because we want to be sure, even not have a hope, but sure, I will join the God. I will stay with the Christ. I have a place what Christ preparing for me. So, and God teach me about this, you know, like, just don't care about like you have right now. Look forward what you have in Christ. You know, like sometimes I go to Best Buy, I like some electronics, and they ask me about insurance. Like, do you want insurance? It costs $200, but you can have insurance for 1 year. I'm saying, what about if you lost your house, you know, everything? What about this, you know? And I just laugh. So let's think in not we are gathered today on the earth, but what we gain with the God, yes? Mm-hmm. And thank you for you coming to the church. And, you know, like it's when I miss sometimes the church because I go somewhere, I mean, I'm always feel like I'm empty, not enough. So it's so good to see you today. And I'm grateful for God I be part of your church. And you're my family, really. You know, I feel here like in Neosho, like an ocean of love, care, and support, and so it's great. Thank you, Lord, for all of you and for all of what you do for us in Ukraine.
They are great. Yeah. They are great. Yeah. And so are you. So
yeah.
are you. Thank you for being patient today with this presentation. There are many good works in the world. Bella Vista is doing many good works. Liberty's doing many good works around the world, so is Haskell, places we visited, and we are doing many good works. And we have Belize and Laredo that people are directly involved in, and so we know that this is just one more thing that God is doing. We appreciate your patience today and your willingness to let us share this with you. You know, I've been preaching here 10 years and 11, and I feel like that I give bits and pieces, but never had like given the presentation that we give other places. And I thought, you know, that's not really correct. And so I hope that that this was enlightening to you and you have a better picture of what's going on. It's just a tremendous opportunity there. I received a video today made by someone, I don't know who, in Ukraine, not from anyone I know, and basically said, please come to Ukraine. The young people are wanting to know what to do with their lives. This war has opened up people's eyes, and they want to hear English. They want to learn English. They study it from kindergarten. Please come and start a church. That was the plea of this 6-minute video. And I was very impressed by that. It's almost like a Macedonian call. Come over and help us. You don't hear that every day. And so I'm glad that Sasha's there, and pray that the work will continue. You may be here today and you have some problems in your life too. Maybe it's not a war, a real war, but there's a war in your soul and some troubles that Jesus can help you with that. He said, come unto me all that are labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. Your soul will have rest. And I appreciate what you said about looking for not a home here only, but we're strangers and pilgrims in this world, or refugees looking for that eternal home. And you'll have the peace of knowing that when your life is over, where you're going to go when this storm passes. And maybe you need prayers at the church. We're going to sing a song, and maybe you'd like to be baptized, as you saw some in the pictures do, where they said, I'm going to follow Jesus. Yeah. Whatever your need is, if you need to come, we'll meet you down front. The elders will pray for you. Let's stand and sing.